By the way, Aim, I forgot to tell you
Yeah, it's live
Ah,
now.
what we discussed with that gentleman telling him. I did tell him about you.
lovely.
And what about me? Did you tell anyone about
Chalo,
me?
chalo, yeah, come on.
Hello,
You'll be
everybody.
a lot
Welcome.
of people will say Suhel is
Welcome.
good and all, but see, I'm only fighting for you.
Namaskaram. Jai Shri Ram. Welcome again. And we're joined by Suhel Seth and someone called Cross Dressing Fatso, which is not the kind of language we use on this show, but who can control
You should
AIMs?
welcome him back. He has taken time to come back. Be nice to people.
Yeah, be nice. And
Look at the
besides,
kind of look at the kind of name he's come with on such a
It
serious
doesn't
topic.
matter. He's not calling you a fat, so he's not calling me a fat, so he's calling
I've
himself a fat.
been called Fatso enough. That's okay.
see, this was a name given to me by Honorable ex-member of Parliament Sushri Mahua Moitra ji. And I've
Oh.
decided to adopt.
Yeah, own it, baby, own it.
Where is she?
Where is she who?
Honorable Sushi Mahua Moitra ji.
Yeah.
No idea.
She's recovering from some procedure. She underwent the elective procedure, so she didn't have to vacate her house.
My
Nonsense.
God.
Nonsense. Nonsense. Okay, let's get going. Speaking about prime real estate, we all know that the Pran Pratishtha is happening in a matter of days now. Uh, but the Congress seems to have tied itself up in knots, and it's purely self created. In fact, Abhijit tweeted about how someone very high up in the Congress, and very high up in the Congress, we all know who that could be, uh, passed a comment to the effect that, oh, don't worry about this Ram Mandir thing. It's going to pass. People will forget like they've forgotten G20. So the Astha point totally misses them, doesn't it, AIM?
Look, they don't get it. You know, I don't have kids, so I can't talk about parvarish and raising and things. I'm sure Sonia Gandhi is a wonderful mother, but she hasn't raised an Indian nationalist child. She's raised a very nice European social democrat for whom nationalism is a dirty word. Because you know, in Europe, it doesn't matter where you're from, nationalism is a dirty word. And it has all kinds of negative connotations. And the entire uh, the world view of this guy is a very European lefty social democrat thing in a post-religious society, which really doesn't suit India. Right. Now, it's fantastic for Europe, I'm sure, but it's not going to sell in India. And the problem is, even after 10 years and so many electoral losses, they still don't get it. This is the salesman. And because, look, politicians are salesmen. You're essentially policy salesman or charisma salesman. This is the salesman who believes that the market should adjust to his product rather than him adjusting his product to the market. Okay. Now, when he does adjust the product to the market, going doing puja or having his people claim he's Janaudhari, when it actually comes down to it, he always shows his contempt for it, saying church and state, or in this case, temple and state, should be separate and religion is a private matter. In India, religion has never been a private matter. You see, this
Yeah.
is also, even as a European social democrat, he is a C minus student. And I'll tell you why. Because the word secularism is a catch-all term. It doesn't capture the shades of grey. There is French laïcité. Laïcité was born in the French Revolution, which is anti-clerical. It is vitriolically anti-clerical. It goes out to seek and destroy religion. It doesn't just keep it out of state. It seeks, destroys, and sees to it that the state interferes in religious matters. Any religious visibility in public life, the state has license to interfere in. Okay. American secularism has a totally opposite route to it. It is one where you can be a complete religious lunatic, but even then, you have to be celebrated and brought into the fold. Why? Because it was started by these pilgrims from the Mayfair, the ship called the Mayfair, who were, the Cromwell Walas, the anti-monarchist Cromwell Wala Puritans, who were even by the standards of 16th century Britain, they were religious fanatics. So one is to get all religion out, another is to get all religion in, irrespective of how loony and extreme you may be. Now,
Hmm.
Indian so-called secularism is something called dharma nirpeksh, which is what? It does not separate state from religion. This is a very wrong reading. Even if you go through the constitutional debates, it was very clear that there will be no separation of church and state. It is just that religion pervades wherever it does. The state does not pick favorites. That is all. Okay. So even as a humanities student, he is a C grade salesman and he is a C grade humanities student. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it is.
Hmm. And it's kind of strange how they're treating the that one Shankaracharya as like the Pope for someone who's banding so much about
Listen,
secularism. You've
there is
converted.
no Pope. And even in the Pope, you see, you should remember this notion of this Pope supremacy comes up only in the 900s, 1000s, when the final schism between the Orthodox Church and the Western Church happened. Remember, in the Eastern Church, it was always meant to be the five archbishops. It was the Archbishop of Rome, the Archbishop of Constantinople, the Archbishop of Antioch, the Archbishop of Jerusalem, and the Archbishop of Alexandria. Of these, the Archbishop of Constantinople was considered primus inter pares, which is the highest among the equals.
Hmm.
Okay, this supremacy of the Pope is something they themselves concocted. For the first 5, 6, 700 years, sorry, let me turn this off and
Hmm.
let me do this.
Can't hear you at all. Oh, you
You're
muted yourself.
unmute.
Is this better?
Yeah,
Yeah, this
perfect.
no, again it's again you've gone mute.
Now
Oh,
he's fine. You're fine.
now?
Now it's fine.
Okay. So now what happens is, you see, this primacy of the Pope is something he himself concocts. Because you look at Constantine and people like that, when Emperor Constantine moves the capital to Byzantium and calls it Constantinople, nobody gives a damn about the Pope in Rome. He's just one of five archbishops. Okay. Now, in Hinduism, where even your Vedas is the fount of 12 different streams of thought, okay, where you have Charvakas and Astikas and Nastikas all considered a part of this thing, how does one Advaitin sect claim to be the supreme pontiff? Even Adi Shankaracharya himself, when he started up his mutts, did not make one the supreme mutt anywhere. तो जब
Hmm.
आदि शंकराचार्य ने खुद नहीं बनाया बॉस, how are you claiming these are the supreme interpretations? And understand, Vishnu temples come under Dvaita. They come under the Ramanand sect. They do not come under the Advaitin Shankaracharya sect, or
Hmm.
sects as it may be. Okay, we do not have a pontiff. Period.
Yep. Suhail, over to you now. Congress is tying itself up in knots, like I mentioned, and it seems to be just getting worse. Now, recently, Karnataka, there's a minister in Karnataka who's come out and said that I've seen the Babri Masjid and I've seen the two dolls that they've placed under the tent in the Chabutra, and they're just dolls, something to that effect. It's absolutely insane.
Let's imagine everything that they are saying is true. You are flying in the face of popular Indian sentiment. It is not any longer Hindu sentiment. Even many liberal Muslims have said that let it be. If the temple has to be there, let it be. The point I'm making is, why does the Congress not have the brains to assess popular sentiment? If they can't understand this basic sentiment, how on earth will they win the general election or even hope to win the general election? They're certainly not winning, but I'm just saying, hope to, kaim. Second is, I said this before, Rahul Gandhi is, to my mind, antithetical to India's progress and the Congress's progress. And take my words seriously. You know, to have an intelligent man who goes awry is fine because you hope that one day his intelligence will guide him to the right path. But if you have someone who's not intelligent, who's intellectually innocent, but believes he's intelligent, then there's no escaping because that's destruction of the finest kind. Because that man actually believes he's bright when he's certainly dim as they come. Now, the point I'm making is that there is no one to challenge Rahul Gandhi. You've appointed Mr. Kharge, who can barely hold a sentence of his own without being either contradicted or the microphone being snatched away by Jairam Ramesh. You have their spokespeople on television, some of them, who are absolutely irritating, obnoxious, and rude, besides being intemperate. Who are they trying to win over? You see, my thing is the Congress actually fighting an election within 10 Janpath or Akbar Road? But I don't think they have the potential, the brain power, or even the resolve to fight a general election. Because if they did have that, they would not get into all these issues. Now let's come to point number two. Imagine Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi don't believe in Lord Ram and they have every right not to. Would you make that public? Then would you say that religion is private? If religion was private, why did Sonia Gandhi go several times to the Pope in Vatican? Now that's all being played back. Why did Indira Gandhi wear the Rudraksha, as we all know she did? Why did Rahul Gandhi recently, just before Modi or after Modi, why did he go on a temple run? He went on a temple run because he believed it would win him an election. Just because the BJP has taken the wind out of your sails, you can't say that this is incorrect. Remember, as I tweeted once, this is about a game of chess. You can't make the first move. You have to actually plot how you are going to strangle your opponent. In chess, everyone makes the biggest mistake by saying the first move determines the game. No, it is the mood, the nuanced versions of how you set up the ecosystem that determines how that game will play out. So I'm a believer that the Congress has stopped scoring self goals because even that they are not capable of. The Congress is a party in measured decline. They don't know what to do. Their people are at crossroads as they should be. Imagine, Advaita, you're part of the Congress, if you were. Now you have been told to criticize Lord Ram, and your constituency has Ram believers. Would you? No, because you would be selfish enough, and rightly so, to make sure that you win the next election. Otherwise, you'll be irrelevant. So why would you criticize Lord Ram or whoever that may be? So there will be contradictions, some of which will be public for those people to tell their constituents that look, Rahul Gandhi doesn't believe in Lord Ram, but I do, which again becomes contradictory. Akhilesh Yadav didn't say that he's against the temple. He says, I will not be there on the 22nd, but after that, I will come with my family. So, what have you established? That yes, I believe the temple must exist, but I will not be there for the inauguration because the inauguration is politicized. Let me tell you, this is a classic case for the Congress. Operation successful, patient dead.
Yeah.
They have no way to go. You see, Modi has not left them with any maneuverability. Modi has not left them with any elasticity in terms of the space they can occupy. Today, no matter what they say, they can never be bigger and better Hindus than Narendra Modi. They can never be better or bigger Muslims than Owaisi or whoever else they are. They can never be better Dalits than Mayawati. So, who are they? Are they better Italians in India or better Indians of Italian origin or better Indians of Gandhian origin? We don't know. They have put themselves in a cul-de-sac of absolute despair. It's the cul-de-sac of despair that they've entered today.
Meanwhile, Suhel, before I go to Pallavi, quick question, interesting comment from one of our viewers. Is Kamal Nath joining the BJP since he's your pal?
Well, if he had any sense, he would. He would. Look, someone asked me the other day, Milind is a very dear friend of mine, Diora. And Milind and his wife Pooja hosted a dinner for Lakshmi and me, for my wife and me, many months ago. At that time, I told him, I said, you've got to decide. If you're a politician, you've got to be in politics. If you don't want to be a politician, then do whatever you want to. Now, how can you be a politician in a political party which is ready to commit harakiri at get go? So obviously, he joins a political party. Now, the wicked people say, oh, he's joined for this, he's joined for that. Of course, you join in order to get to parliament, in order to make your voice heard, in order to be able to be given a ticket.
Hmm.
So Kamalath would be stupid if he did. Having said that, you know, at Kamal's age, and I'm not being ageist when I say this, I don't know if he'll make the switch, because see, it's not just Kamal alone. His son is now the member of parliament from Chindwara, Nakul. So
Hmm.
I don't know how the dynamics will play out. And frankly, I don't discuss all these things with people who are friends or who I know. It's their call.
Hmm.
Please have a dinner with Pilot too. Yeah,
And please invite Milind Deora. All of you know him. Why can't he come on our show?
of course, he's in Davos right now. But yeah, you
Yeah.
see, it was famously said by Arun Shori of Sanjay Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi in the Indian Express. One pilot crashed, the other one won't take off. Our pilot of today is midair. So we don't know whether he'll be refueled or he will land, but he's midair.
Hmm. You tweeted that video of Dipendra Huda in the Sarayu taking dips and saying Jai Shri Ram. I mean, he comes from a state where the greeting is Ram Ram. So, and there's an election this year there. So, what? How are they coping with this? Are they just like each one on his own doing his thing, or there's actual concern about what the senior management or the high command of the Congress has done?
See, unlike a lot of Congress leaders who are on social media and they are saying, oh, it's a great decision which has been taken by the Congress party by skipping it, people like us, not
Hmm.
always traveling by car, but going inside the AICC, we get to meet a lot of the Congress leaders and workers. And in private, I mean, they do say this that this is something which could have been avoided, because how do we go back? I was speaking to someone from Himachal also, which has 98% Hindu population. He was telling me that they understand 98% of our population is Hindu, then they expect us to do well. And these things matter. See, the point is that it's not that the Congress thought or thinks, or if they had decided to go for a pran, the results would have swayed in. Not going is also going to do them some damage. So maybe the better way out could have been, you have a
first, though,
dependent
she's
Hooda, you
funny
had
at any
UP
time,
leaders of the Congress, you had
and the
Supriya
connection
Srinivasan
is terrible. I mean, what is going on?
Yeah, her audio is horrible.
and to chanting Jai Shri.
Pallavi,
So
take your
heard
video
about
off. Pallavi, get off
audio is
video and just
bad.
come in on audio. Your internet is not great wherever you are right now. Yeah, she's just frozen now. So switch off your video and come back on audio or log in again. Okay, Abhijit is back. Till Pallavi gets going, Abhijit, you must have seen that video as well of Dipendra Hooda taking dips in the Sarayu. And you have a lot of friends as well amongst the Congresses and a lot of those who are ex-Congresses now. What are they thinking? Are they rolling their eyes all the way up into the
Current congressees also. Do you
yeah?
know how much Milind tried to course correct the Congress and the kind of ridicule and abuse? Even जब तुम्हारा दिल साफ है and you try to course correct, you are accused of all kinds of nonsense.
Hmm.
ठीक है? Now within the Congress, you see this is a panic reaction. They all booked tickets to go to Imphal and God knows where else. How did they all land up suddenly Sarayu Nadi pe?
Hmm.
Mm. So there is absolute panic because a lot of them now realize what a see. There were two options out here.
Hmm.
If they went, there was little to nothing to lose. Thoda apna, you swallow a bit of your pride. That's about it.
Hmm.
But not going, You lose so much. And these people don't realize that. I mean, lots of people in the Congress clearly do. Now
Hmm.
tell me, but the problem then is you frame your letter in a way saying religion is a private matter. Then
Hmm.
why is everybody out there going and tweeting their own religious observance? To private rakho. See, there is
Correct.
no consistency in what they have to say.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tomorrow, this is going to come back to bite them massively, because understand, a temple now being built is a civilizational event, especially at one of your three most holy sites.
Hmm.
Okay, this is not a once in a year thing, or it is not a mela or a conference.
Hmm.
I don't think these people get it. Well, lots of people in the Congress do get it. The problem is they dare not raise their voice because
Yeah.
of the system Rahul Gandhi runs is one where you have to agree with him, otherwise you are his enemy.
Hmm.
And even when it fails, you have to laud it and say, well, the people are stupid. Like what
Hmm.
that stupid Indigo Airlines pilot did, the guy who got sucker punched yesterday.
Hmm.
He was a co-pilot. Before that, the pilot had come out and blamed the passengers
Oh.
for the flight taking off 12 hours late. So he's a bit like that pilot.
Hmm.
Now, what do you do? Agar
Hmm.
ऐसे you don't want to listen to people, you want a
Hmm.
completely self-reinforcing advice circle, then that is not an advice circle, no?
Hmm.
So how are you going to get out of this? I don't know.
I know there was this like
And
spoof video.
and what is
Uh,
even worse is that today at the press conference, Rahul Gandhi kept on making the point that we don't have to go in for the RSS BJP agenda. And the worst part again is that I'm told that on 22nd, the state units of the Congress have been asked to do the little puja wherever they are, and Rahul Gandhi himself may go to a Shiv Dham in Guwahati if he reaches Guwahati. And yesterday, Jai Shri Ram ke chants and all of that. And not only why Congress, even Mamata Banerjee is doing the same. Look at what Arvind Kejriwal did today, in Rohini, Sundar Path and all of that. So they all want to do the same religion thing, but in a roundabout manner. इससे अच्छा चले जाते.
They want to be their own Hindus. In the process, what they're doing is they're decrying national fervor, national sentiment, and
hmm.
national belief. It's not that these guys don't want to, they want to be seen as Hindus, but we don't want to be seen as BJP wala Hindu. But bhai, that boat has sailed. That ship has sailed. अब आप क्या करोगे? You see, Modi has established कि ये राम मंदिर हमारी वजह से बना और हमारी वजह से उठ गया है.
Hmm.
आपने जो करना है आप करो. So they can't enter this. So what will they do? They will create another alternate playing field, but that playing field is irrelevant
Hmm.
because what Modi will do is, and as he showed, he will milk the Ayodhya Ram Mandir till the cows come home. No pun intended. They're already in his house. But that's what he will do. A. B. Remember, the finest legacies are of those people who build monuments that are remembered for
Yes,
centuries.
exactly.
Whenever people talk about Sardar Patel's statue and Ayodhya, they will remember Narendra Modi.
Yes.
Who will
Hmm.
remember Rahul Gandhi? Do you remember that Ghafoor Khan Ghafoor walked, Acharya Vinoba Bhave walked? Who remembers them? तुम जितना मर्जी टहल लो. Do you remember the last guy who walked on the bloody treadmill? You don't. So these jokers don't even realize strategy. See, my point is they're so dumb in essence that they have no strategic bone in their collective bodies. That's my worry.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I think there's a definite point to that, and presently, when you have come from a space where you are questioning the very existence of Ram in the Supreme Court of the land, then when you're coming from that space, the worst thing you can do for yourself at this point, when there's actually a Ram Mandir being built, is to decline an invitation to that Pran Pratishtha ceremony. Because when are you going to make reparations for the kind of things that you have
Arey
said?
bhai, if I were Rahul Gandhi, I would have said, yes, I want to come. If I
Yes.
was Sonia Gandhi, I would have said, yes, I want to come. And you know what would have happened? जब cameras pan करते, they would have also panned these guys, and they
Yeah.
would have said, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." People would say, "अरे यार देखो ये तो कर रही है."
हाँ?
अभी बॉस तुम हो गई नहीं. जब ये रील प्ले होगी for 20, 30, 100 years, you won't be there. No one will remember.
Hmm.
If like Pallavi Ghosh's miserable internet connection, if Jawaharlal Nehru only had audio and no visual, you think you would have remembered Tryst with Destiny? So yes, sir, but I tell you, they have no brain. So I worry about that.
You know, there's one more thing out here which is very important to remember. You know, the Congress knew this. They knew that building and naming things after you led to a legacy. How have they forgotten about it all of a sudden? This is something, you know, this is not to be taken from somebody else. This is from your own family, learn about it. कि तुमने ये बनाया वो बनाया वो बनाया, वो भी नहीं है. You don't have to become, like Suhel said, you don't have to become the BJP's Hindu. हम खुद अपना हिंदू बनना चाहते हैं. But tell me, how does participating in the Ram Mandir make you somebody else? It is a ceremony for everybody, which is why all the different sects have also been invited. How would that have made you a BJP ka Hindu? Now, the contradictions you're talking about, Advaita, these come about because you are so completely convoluted, because every position is a reaction to a BJP position. There is no sui generis ab initio ideological framework that these people are coming from. They just have to oppose everything that Modi does, and that is it. And this is how Modi manages to tie them into so many contradictions. Ab aap batao mere ko, where was the need? I mean, and this is not just Ram Mandir. Look at it generically. You know, he said nonsense like India is a union of states. Tell me, what was the relevance of that debate? What was that debate even to begin with? Your name itself is Indian National Congress. फिर अपना
हाँ,
नाम
चेंज करो,
बदलो
जियो ले
Indian
लो यार.
Union
ये
Congress.
ट्रू एयरटेल तो मैं बंद कर दूंगी, पहले तुम जियो तो लो.
Now, see, again,
उनको
she's
चले
talking
ना
to
तब,
someone else.
उनको तो
Pallavi,
चाहिए
You
नहीं
know,
होगा ना,
mute
पता
your
नहीं
this
कब
kind
कितने
of
दिन. जियो का सर्विसेज आल्सो माशाल्लाह.
see, this kind of thing has to stop, Advaita.
yes, yes, it's
We
very
cannot
true.
It
have
cannot work.
Pallavi,
someone
mute
giving
karo.
instructions
हाँ,
about their mobile telephony to other
yes,
people when we are discussing a serious issue.
yes. So you know, for all, this is what amazes me. You know, there is this saying, too many cooks spoil the broth. The Congress has some brilliant people. The problem is, I'm not seeing that synergistic brilliance in what they do. Quite the contrary. This is like a fellow who's one chef wants to make tandoori chicken, the other wants to make chicken fricassee, the third wants to make chicken Manchurian. So in the end, you put butter chicken sauce, fricassee wine reduced sauce, and bloody Manchurian soy based sauce on the same chicken, and sabka sab bhanda phod diya tumne.
You see how Advaita lights up the moment you mention food.
Yeah,
Light up.
See how
I also light up. You
You know
also light up
something?
when you mention food.
Yeah, even you light up. But listen, you know the funny thing is that it seems like the only people who are in the Congress right now are the ones who can't go anywhere else. You know?
Exactly,
now
so sad.
Dushyant Dhangad says, when is Suhel said moving to Rajesh Sabha? Because I don't know what
Rajesh.
Rajesh Sabha is, but I'm neither moving to Rajesh Sabha nor to Rajya Sabha. Dushyant Babu, Dhangad.
Bangarji.
What else, Advaita? How else can we?
How else can you help me? I mean, we are at 2600 people watching live. Thanks so much. Do like the show, the stream, if you're enjoying it. Do subscribe to the channel. We've crossed 50,000, so I just want to thank all our viewers. Thank you so much for getting us past this huge milestone. We never anticipated it when we got started, so really really appreciate this. And okay, let's just now, if there's anything else that our viewers want us to discuss, we'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, that was a very important question. One of the viewers wanted to know if you wrote Anjani Anjani and Kahani, and it is true. Suhail Seth and I wrote it, and this girl stole it from us. So
It's
please
Anjana
remember.
and Jani. You don't even know the name of the film, and you're claiming to
अरे
have
तुमने
written.
नाम दिया, हमने नाम थोड़ी ना दिया, हमने स्क्रिप्ट लिखा था उसका.
नाम मैंने नहीं दिया किसी को भी. That is not in my space. But do watch that film. That's something that's interesting that's coming up. Anything else, guys? Anything you all want us to discuss?
No,
Abu
no,
Dhabi
there is
Mandir.
I want
Abu
him
Dhabi Mandir, I think, is incredible. When I lived in the
I want
UAE,
him to weigh in on this.
yeah.
There is a substantive change in India and amongst Indians. Number one, we are no longer squeamish about saying we are Hindu. In a world that was mired and that was governed by left liberals, so called left liberals, it was very communal to say you're Hindu. If you
Hmm.
said you were non-Hindu and you don't care about religion, all you were seen as secular. So secular was actually not secular. Secular was communal, but it was seen to be secular. Modi has dispensed with that. The apology that was linked to being a Hindu no longer exists. Hinduism is a way of life. It is not didactic. It is not something that you know you have to. If you're a Sikh, you have to go to the Gurdwara, or you expect to go to. Hindus don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
Wo Astha is internalized. The expression is externalized through festivals. So what started happening? The so-called secular left liberals started knocking Hinduism. Then they came and started knocking the external expression of your way of life, whether it was Diwali, whether it was Holi. Oh, who does? Throw color, throw this, throw that.
Hmm.
So what started going on was the average Hindu said, ki enough is enough. On top of it, you had a government or you had the establishment which was willing to support that mindset. The space, therefore, for any Hindu bashing is over. That space has been closed. They will have to reinvent or recalibrate their strategies. You cannot now say that, oh, we don't like Hinduism. And it's evident. See the temple runs that all these jokers do. I mean, Rahul Gandhi even managed to show us his sacred thread. I mean, the one around his body. So, point I'm making is that India has changed.
Hmm.
Plus the confidence of the average Indian. Plus, now you tell me, 30 years ago, if you had seen a chief minister wearing saffron robe, you say, what the hell? But no one says that anymore
Hmm.
because that ship has also sailed. So, in such a construct of a country that we've become, it's very difficult for the Congress to survive if they continue to knock the
Hmm.
majority religion.
Yeah. Abhijit, do you think India has changed decisively? Has there been a shift, or is it something that is temporary that we've seen in the last 10 years, or has this shift been coming silently for a long time and the Congress just refused to see it in their arrogance?
The Congress refused to see it. In fact, the Congress helped it. And it isn't, it's a multidimensional thing. Like Suhail said, one part of it was when you push good, decent people too far,
Hmm.
where you tell them that they cannot be congregational when everybody else is congregational. The entire Christian faith is congregational, the entire Muslim faith is congregational. It requires a public profession of the faith. You have things like the catechism and your confirmation and your baptism and things that have to be openly done. There is a formal process for everything out there. The second, surprisingly, is something that was unleashed by PV Narasimha Rao, which was the gentrification of India. Those reforms that happened created a middle class. And that, in large part, helped the RSS's social. Now, RSS has been very clear about this. They will work for a casteless society. Hindutva means where you prioritize your Hindu identity over your caste identity. The thing is, unlike a left wing organization which will shove it down your throat forcibly, this will be done slowly, bottom up through social consensus. Which is why the first BJP prime minister was a Brahmin, the second BJP prime minister is an OBC. Okay, that is the social change that was happening. And Narasimha Rao's reforms and the creation of a middle class. You can't tell somebody that you are a piece of shit, vote for me. You have to massage people's egos. Now, when you are very poor and there's nothing you can do and you need to live off hand, You can say you're a piece of shit. I'm going to give you a handout. Vote for me. You will, because you don't have a thing. But India at a $600 per capita that needed that kind of patronage, even if you spat on his face, is not a $2,500 per capita income India, which will not tolerate you spitting on their face. So there has been a social change. We have to recognize what the RSS has done for this country. It has not just been a political movement. The BJP is just one part of it. It has been a social movement to eliminate the evil of caste from society. And there have been these parasites called the trads who have always actually been in the Congress bank. There is one chap amongst them who called intercaste women who engaged in intercaste marriage kutiyas. Hmm.
Yeah, no, not that
They,
kind of language. Yeah.
yeah, they did. And this is a so called dharmacharya, by the way. And these people are completely aligned with the Congress. But the Congress uses them as propaganda, because when all these Congress propagandists like Christophe Jaffrelot and co write about Hindutva, they don't club them with the Congress even though they campaign for the Congress. They club this as the real face of Hindutva, which is Brahmin supremacism. Okay, so it has been a very consistent attempt at gaslighting, infiltrating, Trojan horsing, and destroying something. But this is an idea whose time has come. And they can all try, but they're not going to succeed. Okay, Hindutva is here to stay. Sure, it will also come with a timeout period, I guess, over a point of time. All ideas have come up with a timeout period, but right now it is going nowhere.
Nowhere.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and someone asked, and I think this is interesting. Mamta Banerjee's rally for harmony on January 22nd. I mean, this is a lady who changed Ram Dhenu to wrong Dhenu to remove the word Ram from the word in Bengal textbooks, so not to offend. And now she's
She's
going out on
pandering.
this rally.
She's pandering to the Muslim vote bank. You see, the other thing is, I mean, Abhijit will know this better. The Muslims vote en bloc, the Hindus don't. So Mamta Banerjee in Bengal, I'm talking about. Bengal, she's pandering to the Muslims, so she will continue to do this. There's nothing you can do.
Hmm. And Mayawati is also bowed out of the India alliance. She's not going to be part of it. That she's made clear.
She's playing in for BJP. She's because if she bows out of the alliance and says I'm going solo, that's how she'll cut the vote.
Do you know in the 2014 election, people don't realize this, but the BSP was the third biggest party. It had the third biggest vote share. They didn't win seats, but they were the third biggest vote share. People don't
And I
realize
agree
this.
with Zishan. He's saying, should the pandering stop? I think the pandering should stop to all religions, all communities. I totally agree with Zishan. I'm not I was saying that because you pander to Muslim, you must also pander to Hindu. I'm saying no. This is why governance will always be sacrificed.
But then people will say, Suhel, that the Ram Mandir is pandering to Hindus.
Of course,
That's what the
which
Congress
is
is
why,
saying.
if you remember on your program, I said, if I were Narendra Modi, I would have done everything to support the temple, but I wouldn't have gone there as prime minister on that day. The inauguration, and now I've been told it is not being inaugurated by him, it's being inaugurated by someone else. I would have not inaugurated the temple, the revitalization or whatever you call it of the temple that day, because I'm the prime minister of an India which has multiple, which is pluralistic or has more communities than just Hindus. I would have not done it. But
But he's
then
also
please,
Hindu, right? He's also a Hindu.
no, no, no.
And he's
Please,
someone who's been involved with the Ram Janmabhoomi cause for decades.
yeah. So my view, I'm entitled to my view. No? My view is the Prime Minister of India supersedes the religion of Narendra Modi for that day. By all means, do the 11-day fast, do whatever. I'm saying on that day. You know why? Because you will play into the hands of people who say, "देखिए जी ये लोग इसको हिंदू राष्ट्र बना रहे हैं," when actually he's not. When actually he's not. But this is how people will screw up the narrative. That's
No,
the
that
issue.
is if you look at
I
Hindu
think
Rashtra as one second, if you
these
look at
two
Hindu
things.
Rashtra as a theological state, then you're going to have this reaction. But if you look at Hindu as an Hinduness and a
Yeah,
civilizational
but you know
entity,
now how
then the
people will
Hindu
twist and
Rashtra
turn.
will not kind of set off
But
those bets.
otherwise, I totally agree with you. But I'm saying, you know how people will twist and turn. You know that. You
So,
know,
I think he's too confident of his control of the narrative. And I think the Congress and the opposition are too inept at changing the narrative for him to prioritize one over the other. But since we get back to this Dharma Nirpeksh, he is not the host of this. He's not the Yajaman. The Yajaman is the main person out here.
Hmm.
The Yajaman is somebody else. I forget the gentleman's name, but that gentleman and his wife are the Yajamans at the Ram Mandir event. Modi, I think, is the chief guest of the event. He's the sponsor of the event. Second, Dharma Nirpeksh means that he should be invited as the Yajaman for the creation of that new mosque. He should be invited for the consecration of the new mosque also as the chief guest.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? There's not that doesn't this thing at all. But we've had a great show today. We're nearly at 3,000 people watching us live, and really appreciate you all given the time. And why are people blaming me like being a Hindu? You can't give me some what? Okay, there's so many comments coming, guys. I think you need to understand that I
trying
am
to
like handling
concentrate
this
on the show.
solo.
You
Huh?
know, you're becoming Pallavi 2.0.
Mm.
Concentrating on the show.
You know why? Because I don't have a team. This is like a solo gig.
Well,
Okay,
then
so
hire a bloody team.
I have to. That's part of the plan.
Yeah,
That's a
you
plan
have to.
of expansion. My evil
Okay.
plans of
Thank you. God
world
bless.
Thank you.
domination
Thank you.
and
Please,
social media
तुम्हारा रोना
talk.
धोना छोड़ दो. We are quite capable of making our own scripts. Boo hoo
Okay,
hoo.
everybody,
Thank you.
do like the stream, do share it, do come back for more content, for more conversations. We'll, of course, be back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Stay safe, stay good. It's going to be very foggy from the January 15th to the
अरे खत्म
18th.
करो बहन.
Yeah, all of North India, be careful when you get out onto the roads because there's going to be bad
Not bad.
visibility.
She's also got
Bye.
nuts. This woman.
There's no nuts. It's